Hi, I'm Manny خوشبین. I went from selling nuts and being homeless to being a multimillionaire in real estate and exotic cars, and I'm one of the passionate few.
Success is hard, but it is doable.
Get out of your comfort zone,
Wow.
Challenge yourself.
Wow.
Unless you challenge yourself, you don't grow.
So welcome to this episode of the Passionate Few podcast today. It's your host, Omar, and today we have a very special episode as we have an exclusive interview with Manny خوشبین. Known as the king of real estate, we get to hear how Manny came to this country as a young teenager from Iran seeking to escape the war and actually lived in his car inside of a parking lot with multiple family members and never lost sight of his vision to make his American dream happen. And of course, to date, Manny has acquired and been involved with real estate transactions nearing almost $1 billion. And of course, we shared his entire story of literally going from that rock bottom situation, knocking on doors, selling his product, buying a gas station, and losing it all many times over, but ultimately proving that he would never give up. Manny talks all about manifestation, working hard, and if you want to be inspired or motivated to make your dreams a reality, you'll want to pay attention to the very end of this interview because Manny's story is proof that if he could do it, you could definitely do it as well. So with no further ado, I want to encourage you guys to sit back, relax, enjoy this powerful interview with none other than the king of real estate himself, Manny خوشبین. Enjoy. Thanks for being on the show today, Manny.
My pleasure.
Absolutely, my man. So let's get right into it. A lot of people might see you on social media. They see the massive multi-million-dollar real estate empire you built. But a lot of people don't know that you came from kind of humble beginnings, right?
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit, before you built this multi-million-dollar empire, where did you grow up? What was your childhood like? And sort of where did you start? Where did the ball start rolling for you as a kid?
Well, I'm from Iran, and in 1984, right before I turned 14, my dad decided to flee Iran to basically save my life because at 14 they drafted you to army. And my dad having 6 brothers, 4 being crippled or dead by now from the injuries from the war, and I was his favorite son. He didn't want that to happen to me. So we flee two weeks before my 14th birthday with $2,000. We went to Turkey, got a visa, came to US. He had a friend in Costa Mesa that had a gas station and had promised him a job, pumping full service gas. So we took a taxi from LAX to their house. And I guess he hadn't communicated to his wife that there's 6 people moving in.
You got a surprise at the door.
Yeah, that didn't go too well. The second night we were there, we could hear them fighting in the kitchen, and then he walked into the room. He says, "I'm sorry, you guys have to, leave, and my wife's having a problem, blah, blah, blah." So we moved to a motel. After a week in motel, my dad realized we were running out of money. So he called his buddy, he goes, "This is not right. I brought my, kids over here counting on you." And my sister was 6 months old at the time. So it was pretty, stressful, for my parents.
Sure, yeah.
And so his buddy says, "Hey, I can sell you one of my cars," because he used to sell cars at his gas station a lot. "I can sell you one of the cars and, at least you have something, to drive around or live in." So we went over there, picked up a Dodson station wagon, and that became our house for a few months.
Wow. And
Yeah.
how old were you at this time? This is 14?
I was 14. Yeah.
So you're living in a Datsun car?
Yep, 6 of us. Yeah.
Wow.
And I don't remember. Maybe it was a few weeks.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you go through trauma in life, your subconscious, blocks it. When certain things are painful.
It waters it down a little bit in the memory.
Yeah, and your memory gets a little foggy not because you don't want to remember it, because it's painful,
Yeah.
But nevertheless,
What was the attitude like in the car? Was it like, "Oh shit, we're in a rough situation," or was it kind of like positive, upbeat? Was it like a supportive? Do you remember the sort of energy, or was it tension?
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like in the car?
Definitely tense, tense and stressful and anxiety. Obviously, when you don't speak any English, you come to this country with no resources. And my dad did speak English because he was, educated back in America at some point for his degree. He was a senior cost accountant for an oil company. And, but none of us speak any English, and, you feel helpless,
Yeah.
And
Were you picked
so
on in
kind of
school?
desperate. Oh yeah, yeah. School wasn't fun either. The first 2 years I had a very rough time. I had 3 hours of ESL classes.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't speak any English, and So I got picked all the time. I was a very skinny boy,
Wow.
short, skinny boy. And I think that's one of the reasons I started weightlifting early on. Ever since I was 14 and a half, I started lifting. I bought my first 2 dumbbells from Swap Meet for $1.
Yeah.
50 cents each. And I wish I had kept them, but those were my best friends.
And that's how you built your confidence, right?
Yeah. Yeah, to me, exercise is like probably the most influential thing in my life. And you probably get that from a lot of entrepreneurs,
Right, absolutely.
successful entrepreneurs. Most of them work out, they have good physique. And, you build your body first, and then you build your mind, your mindset, and as you see results, improvement in your muscles, your body, your mind starts getting more confident as well,
And starts translating into business, life, other areas, communication. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's been a very big key for me. And to this day, I still work out 3 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
you got to, man. You never quit,
I love it. So let's go back. So you're living in the car, 14, times are tough. How do you guys eventually get out of the car?
Yeah, so my dad used to get the newspaper every day, look for, job opportunities. Finally landed an accounting job because that's what his education was, in accounting. And he got the first job, and then as soon as his 2 weeks goes by, he gets his first paycheck. We go to an apartment complex, and
Wow.
he's able to, secure an apartment.
How happy were you at the time? How happy was the family when you guys moved into the
Oh, we were
apartment?
super excited. Yeah, because it's like, a fresh beginning, And, but I always had that anxiety of, everyone's going through hell because of me. So I've always had this guilt, on my shoulders that I have to do something big. I got to do something to pay back my parents. And
How old were you when that started?
Oh, 14.
Really?
It was
So right away?
immediately, Yeah.
Did all your siblings feel the same, or you especially?
Mostly me, yeah.
Why is that, you think?
Well, because my dad left, everyone suffered because of me. So I kind of like, I was desperate to, succeed.
Yeah.
To kind of give everybody comfort. And, and so since I was 14, I was always on the lookout, what can I do to like, help my parents, And the first idea that came to my mind was when I was taking out the trash. I was 14 years old from our apartment, and I see, people left dining, chairs out, toaster, and what have you. I'm like, why are people leaving this out? I mean, the chair is in good shape, The
I could sit in it.
dining table's in good shape. So I'm like, first it didn't dawn on me that, they're throwing it away. I thought somebody's moving in, right?
They just left it on the curb or something. Yeah.
But after a few hours, I came back and it was still there. So I told my brother, I said, hey, Mozzie, come on down. So we moved it to our patio.
Yeah.
And then we started collecting stuff that people they wanted to throw out. And then we lived across from Orange Coast College, which on weekends it was a swap meet, And we used to go to swap meet all the time with my mom to buy stuff for kitchen and what have you. And so I told my brother, I said, let's go sell the stuff we collected. It's free. So that was my first job, at 14 for 2 years. We did that and it was free money, I think we paid like $10 a spot for the swap meet, and then everything else we sold was all profit.
Yeah.
So that's how I was helping my dad. And then when I reached 16, I was legally able to work. So my first job was Kmart.
Kmart.
Yeah, Kmart.
Wow.
Attention, Kmart shoppers.
So to think now you're living in a $35 million estate. We're around, multi-million dollars worth of cars. It all started at Kmart. Officially.
Kmart was $3.15 an hour.
No way.
Yeah, 1986. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was a regular clerk. I had to collect shopping carts, clean the stockroom, mop the floors, clean toilets. So basically all the dirty work, nobody wants to do.
For $3.15 an hour.
Yeah, an hour. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. I was like making $500-600 a month. That was my salary.
You're probably excited at the time though, right?
Oh yeah, are you kidding? Because back then they paid cash too. It wasn't paycheck.
Oh wow.
So they used to put, when you go to get your paycheck every Friday, everybody lined up at the HR office, human resources, and they put cash with the coins, everything, the change in the envelope. They still and give it to you.
Yeah.
So I used to take $100 out of it. My paycheck was like $120, $130 a week with overtime or what have you. And then I used to take $100, put it in a new envelope, seal it, put it under my mattress, literally under my mattress. So I did that for 1 year, and I was able to raise $5,000. And then I went and bought my car at auction. So even back then, I wanted to get deals, at age 17.
Where did you learn that discipline? Was your family into the discipline, or you just sort of picked it up on your own?
Well, my grandpa had a grocery store in Iran, so I used to go to his grocery store all the time, and I saw him wheeling with people. Maybe that kind of, I don't know, inked in my brain.
Yeah.
You know.
What car was it? Your first car, the $5,000?
Oh, it was a 1983 Honda Accord, and burgundy. So at 17, my car was better than my dad's. That's when I knew I'm gonna be somebody.
Yeah. So then from there, you start building the confidence of like, okay, I'm starting to make my own money. I know how to save. Where does the seed get planted where you start, I think, selling nuts, right? Was that your first entrepreneurial endeavor from there?
Yeah, well, I always knew like anything I'm doing early on is a stepping stone. With that mentality, I had a much bigger picture in my mind. I wanted to be a multimillionaire. I wanted to own a bunch of exotic cars, a big mansion. As a matter of fact, at age 15 or 16, I have to go find a picture. I drew a mansion with some palm trees in front of it and 2 Mercedes. Back then, I didn't know what the Ferrari is or Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I knew Mercedes, right?
Yeah.
So I drew 2 convertible Mercedes with palm trees. And I have to find that. It's somewhere in my attic, probably.
That is unbelievable.
But so, you envision your dream where you want to be, and then your subconscious will take over. If you really put the effort, your subconscious will do the rest.
It will figure out the how.
Yeah, it's kind of like pouring water on top of the mountain. It'll find a way to get down, right? It may go straight, it may go turn left.
But you got to pour the water.
You got to pour the water.
And most people don't, huh?
And to pour the water, you got to climb the mountain.
I love that. So let me ask you this. Where did that start? I mean, I know you said at 14 you always wanted to achieve, but where did it go from just wanting to achieve to wanting to be a multimillionaire with palm trees and Mercedes and a mansion?
Good question. Yeah. So when I was getting my paycheck, I realized it took me a year to buy a car. At this rate, I'm not going to own this mansion.
It's going to take you 10 years to buy a palm tree, yeah.
But I was always disciplined. I was always early to work. I never called in sick. Even if I didn't feel good, I showed up. So I was employee of the month 3 times in first 6 months.
Wow.
At Kmart. After 8 months, I was promoted to assistant manager of sporting goods, which is huge, going from mopping floors to assistant manager of sporting goods.
Yeah, in only a few months.
Yeah, and they give me a raise. It was almost double my paycheck, but still, I realized, okay, this is not a place, I'm going to build my dreams, right? Yeah. So it's just like going through the, college or school, getting street smart, And so I was always looking at the newspaper, looking for opportunities. And I came across this ad, is what Worldwide Industries, it was the name of the WWI. And it said, earn $1,000 a week. I'm like, wow, that's, a lot more than I'm making. And I called them up. They said, yeah, it's a multi-level marketing. We sell knife sets, nuts, this, that. So I went for an interview. They hired me. And I worked there for 3 years selling nuts.
How old were you at that time?
I was 17 and a half.
So 17 to age 20?
Yeah, I worked for Kmart for a year and a half, and then I went to WWI selling nuts. After 3 months, I was their top salesman.
Really?
Yeah.
What was your strategy?
A strategy? Nothing. I was friendly with everybody,
So you would knock on doors, or what was?
It was businesses. So we would take a basket of nuts and go to like auto dealerships, and you got all these secretaries sitting around, salespeople. They got nothing to do. They're waiting for customers to come in so they can pound on it. So they love jelly beans, toffees, jujubes, pistachios, cashews, almonds.
To kill time, kind of.
Yeah, everybody likes that. So I would walk in there and say, hey, I got these fresh, nuts, and chit chat with them. Hey, have you tried these? I'll make you a deal. If you buy 3, I give it to you for $10. They're usually $5 each. So I give you $5 off. And then I would, people would gather, as soon as I walk in, they'll check, hey, what do you have? Yeah, I'll take 3 of this. Or next time I sell $150, in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Walk out until the general manager would show up. Yeah, it was rough though. One time I was at, I think it was Pomona Auto Center. It was at a Toyota dealership, if I'm not mistaken. The GM was a real asshole. He knew every week I come, and then he caught me right when I walked in front of everybody, and he chewed my butt. Yeah. Get out of there, you camel rider, you fucking...
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, back then, discrimination was obviously much more than now. But, so anyhow, so after 3 months, I was top salesman. I was making like, $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And I went to Costco with my dad to do some grocery shopping. And then while I was passing by, I saw the nut aisle. I'm like, hey, I did quick math. I'm like, they're selling 5 pounds of pistachio for, $5, and WWI is selling it to me for $10, So I'm like, that's double the cost. So I said, why don't I buy it myself? I already have all my roots and customers,
And make a bigger profit.
Yeah. So I looked into Yellow Pages looking for polyester bags and a sealer. So I found it. I bought it. I think I spent $180 on, the sealant and some polyester bags. And then I used my dad's PC to print the labels. And I started my own business. I was 18. I got a small little office in Stanton. My dad had to co-sign because, the landlord wouldn't give it to me.
Yeah.
And then I I had my customers already. So I went to Costco with my dad. I bought a pallet of nuts. And then start bagging them in an 8-inch polyester bag. And I was off to races. And then I start hiring people. I used to go to phone booths and put these phone numbers you can
want to sell nuts.
Take off. Yeah. Well, I didn't say nuts. I was earn $1,000 a week at your own pace.
The same thing that got you.
Yeah. Same exact ad. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
So then let me ask you this: at what stage